everybody.
Welcome to the show today.
Welcome to the show. It's just us two.
Just us two. This is episode probably 4 because we probably split up the last one into 2.
Mm-hmm.
We had the 2 scheduled out, and then we just
the rabbit holes were everywhere.
We're on a flow, so we figured we'd just keep going.
Yeah.
So Andre is doing other things now, so it's just Betsy and I. We are going to
cheers to us. Whoa, don't spill.
Okay. This is why you're not allowed to touch things.
Oh.
So we're just kind of dive a little deeper, kind of a shooting the shit type podcast. Dive a little deeper into the media side, kind of how we got here, the progression of you in the media game, and
you
how we got here.
Yeah.
So give us a little background in your media experience.
So after high school, went to a nonprofit organization in California that does music outreach tours. So it's music and dance, like singing and dancing shows. And so on tour, I wasn't really a singer, wasn't really a dancer. I kind of did a little bit of both, but I had a good amount of offstage time. So I kind of got into photography, plus it was overseas a lot. So it's just gorgeous settings and just one of those little bitty point and shoot cameras. And then because I liked that so much, my parents got me a DSLR for Christmas one year. So after getting better at that and starting to just kind of do it on my own more, I taught myself pretty much everything. I decided that if I needed to get a degree, because at that point I'd only done the nonprofit. My family really wanted me to go to college. So I went ahead and went to college for photography. I decided if I needed a degree, I was not going to go study something that I didn't like. And just because it was the smart thing to do economy-wise or just for the sake of
the
earning
traditional,
money.
yeah.
So that was kind of the happy medium there. At that time, I majored in photography at UTA. And I was also starting to kind of work at the gym with Andre at that time. So I minored in health. They don't have that minor anymore because it's too general, I guess. But those were the things I was interested in.
Yeah.
So throughout college, I opened my own photography business. It used to be Betsy Baker Photography. And then as I became more involved in Swink, we renamed it as Swink Photos. I mostly was shooting families and still have now for probably 7 or 8 years. Doing a lot of family photos, some senior photos here and there. Recently, I've got, in the past few years, I got more into newborns and boudoir photos. But as I became more and more involved at the gym, the photography business has fallen off as far as priorities go. I love it. It's a hobby. I do it to an extent as a business, but I also was shooting for the gym. So any of our Instagram stuff, I would take pictures. It honestly just started as it's fun to take pictures when we were doing a workout or competition or whatever. And now it's kind of turned into I am the photographer for the gym.
Yeah.
So, and it's nice because it's both my worlds combined, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So you're kind of, like you said, a less priority. It's less of a relying on the income.
Yeah. Yeah. And, after college, we talked about this in another episode, but I grew up in a business owning family. Mm-hmm. So I wanted nothing to do with owning a business. I've always said I would never own my own business because you don't clock in and clock out. Mm-hmm. It's kind of always on your radar. If nobody's going to do it, it falls on you. So there's just a lot of insecurity in that I saw growing up, and having a marriage where your business partners scared me a little bit.
Yeah.
So when I graduated, did not want to do photography because I didn't want to own a business. And I didn't want the thing that I loved so much and really enjoyed so much to become a stressor in any way. So I kept doing it on the side, especially like during the holidays. Everybody wants family photos. So I could kind of pick up a lot of work there for Christmas money. went to work at a Rossi instead, thinking this is perfect. Andre can run the gym. I'm going to have this secure 8 to 5 job. Essentially kind of like not a mindless job because I loved the job I was doing, but I got to clock out. It wasn't, after I was off work, I didn't have to think about it.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't really pan out the way I thought because I am used to the flexibility of business owning. I'm used to the hustle. I grew up in it and I found that I do really like it. So I left Arasti to do more photography work because it was picking up at that time, just doing it on the side and do the gym. But now the gym has picked up so much and that I've had that opportunity to kind of shift my love for photography and the eye that I have into the gym. So, yeah.
Cool.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah, it did. So now you're kind of more of like the marketing head of marketing, I guess, if you want to claim that title.
Yeah. So I say officially, but we've called it, I'm the director of operations because I do all the business stuff, the financials, the member tracking, all of the stuff that Andre hates. I do all of that. I love that stuff. But the director of marketing is kind of how it's turned into now. And that's where you and Meg came in and we're starting to expand.
Yes. So a little background on me.
Yes, please.
I have zero education in anything media, cameras, film.
You've taught yourself, maybe not formal.
No, low formal education, just the University of YouTube. And so all self-taught. Started out kind of how I got here. It started out, I had a GoPro and we just kind of rigged up a GoPro with like a mic on it and stuff, and we were just filming videos around the gym. And then we'd film like open workouts, like when everyone was in here doing it, or like when we would go on guys trips, I would kind of
put it on the bicycles and watch yourself crash later.
Yes, just kind of play around with it, put it together, make little videos. And then it got more and more like gym focused. And then Andre's like, hey, what if we like made a couple videos doing this or doing that? Or like, hey, do you want to get more serious about it? I was like, even still, I don't feel like, I feel like it's
definitely in the beginning stages.
Yeah. And
in the planting the seeds stage, the sprouts are starting to poke out.
Yes. And I still, to an extent, feel like I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but I'm trying to learn on the way. And kind of it has grown into kind of this solidified position of kind of most things
visual
video.
Media manager.
Yeah, just kind
We'll call you that.
Sure. Okay.
I don't know. We'll figure something out.
But kind of more of a structured, hey, let's try and post consistently, having lists of videos or podcasts or whatever that we want to do. We want to get out there, the information we want to get out there. Like how can I make content that it gets it out there?
Well, and it's hard because for you and I do photography, you do video / now podcast, because we have this creative side. We see things through this creative lens and are easily inspired, I would say. But it's getting that structure that really changes. Like, what do you do with all these ideas, with all this inspiration? And so now I think you're figuring out how to like harness that and put it into a product, I guess. Yeah. Maybe not product, but
I mean, into content.
Yeah, for sure.
Digital product.
Yeah.
So it's me, you, and Margaret.
Margaret
is in charge of kind of oversees the
social media,
Instagram, Facebook posts, everything. All that kind of goes through her.
Yeah. So I take the pictures. We used to just, I would come hang out during class and take pictures. And we still do that now sometimes. But if I see a great moment, I'm not going to ask somebody to stop their workout if I messed up shutter speed or something and didn't get it, or they were across the gym and I didn't get it framed the way I want, or I had the lighting, So now we've started scheduling some shoots with members to do a little workout where I can control that. And if I need to ask them to redo something, then then they can. And it's not interrupting the time that they're there for them, you know. Meg started doing the social media posting because I can take the pictures all day, but then between that and operations and coming up with new marketing ideas, like marketing is not just posting on Instagram. Yeah. I found out. So Meg's helping with that. Yes. And she is great because she has my brain.
Yeah. She writes really well.
She writes what I cannot put into words so well.
And I don't think people realize how time consuming that is to post on social media.
Yes. Well, and you got to think if we were to think of the post and post it every single time you think of it and it comes in your mind, like typically if you're a creative person, you understand that typically that inspiration and those thoughts typically don't come at the most opportune time to put it into action. No. So if that was how it worked, I mean, I would be like pulling over on the side of the road half the time to sit and write posts, and then mom calls and interrupts the typing, or, you know, the Instagram rabbit hole. So she has been a huge help in a way too, that she speaks our language. She understands the vision. Meg's been here since I've been here, you know, so, and you've been here since it really flipped into more of a, less of a club, more of a establishment. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Yeah. I came up with that on the fly. I like
that. So we have YouTube now that we're getting more active on.
Which is so good. If you haven't been on the YouTube, you need to go back and look, because now, I mean, we've built this bank slowly, and now we're starting to ramp up the bank building a lot quicker. But we have years now of stuff on there that's just so good, you know? And I'm going to brag on you for a minute. So, this feels so awkward to just brag on you to your face and look you in the eye and do it. There's so much eye contact in the podcast.
I know it is.
It's good. I love it.
Uncomfortable.
Trevor has just like is shining so much. You're shining so much in this role. You feel awkward?
But keep going.
But you are. You're shining so much in this role because, I mean, if you get all wooey on it, which I do all the time, there's so much to be said for like leaning into your creativity. And I think that's really good for everybody to not just be this one-faceted way of like, my work is my life and my life is supported by my work in the end. And to lean into what you love and you're interested in often comes out with something that you never could have imagined beforehand. So, and I feel like that's what's happening for you, is you really like it. And so you're doing really good at it. And from our perspective, it is so relieving to not have to go learn a thing that we don't want to learn and have somebody who's still on the same page with us. Again, it's like Meg, like that's the same brain, really. We're all on the same page. We're all on the same wavelength, but the way that you do your corner of it is perfect. And I think we've just learned that as a gym lately too, of like, give people the thing that they, not only they're good at, but it's life-giving and like they enjoy, because they're going to do much better at it, you know?
Yeah. It's completely different if it's something that you want to do and you're passionate about, then you're a lot more likely to put more energy into it rather than, hey, can you go do this? Yeah. Hey, can you go learn how to do that? Well, I don't like to do that stuff. So
when you're not going to absorb it that much if you don't like it, you know?
So,
but yeah, I'm excited for, I mean, in any media creation, there's like the technology side, right? That we have to learn, and we are, but I think the ideas have been brewing for so many years.
Yeah.
Like now we're getting the opportunity to show people Swink and what's really happening. I keep looking at this picture because it's, I mean, a really good representation, you know, of, we don't need to like do a what's it called? You didn't go to school for, it's like you look at it and you look at each other's art.
Like a critique?
Yeah, critique. That's the word. Yeah. We're not going to critique artwork right now, but I'm excited to see as you just get better at the craft itself, like where the creativity you can get to the result you want even faster. You know,
Yeah.
what you're trying to say, what you see,
Yeah.
you're just going to get better and better at showing it.
Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah.
It's nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it
Posting
is.
content, like, I know I'm sure with you, with like posting video or like giving your clients the photos.
Well, and you could tweak it forever.
Yeah. And it's like, it's hard to just sit down and say, or after you've done it, say, okay, I'm done. Because
Yeah.
you could sit there for days and critique it or cut it up or whatever, change it. And it's hard pressing that, at least for me, pressing that post
Oh, yeah.
or like finishing it is nerve wracking. Because what if it's not good? What if people don't like it?
Well, I think for me, again, with the wooey wooey, that's been kind of a life lesson for me of not overanalyzing, working on my overanalyzing, working on my micromanaging, of just get something out there, just press post, just get things out there. Because Andre tells me all the time when he looks at like my client photography work, I'll look at a shoot and I'll say, well, is this a little too warm, or do you like this color better or something? And he's like, I would know, or I can't use that one because of this little thing. He said, I would never notice that.
Yeah.
So we're our own worst critics. And I think, again, that can cross over into just life.
Yeah. And that's something we were talking about before this, even that, like, well, what if, like, being nervous about starting this podcast of, well, what if it's not great, or what if it doesn't sound great, or what if this or that? It's like, no one really cares. Everyone just cares about the content. Like, oh, what if I didn't cut that clip at the right time? Or what if that transition is a little rocky or whatever? People don't care. They just care about the content.
Yeah.
To an extent.
And that's, again, I'm going to get wooey wooey on this podcast every time.
Let's dive in.
There's just, that's self-judgment, right?
Yeah.
And I've actually been talking with friends quite a bit about self-judgment and judgment of others, and how the two can kind of feed off of each other, either in a healthy way or a non-healthy way. And I think that the more that we stop judging ourselves, the more that we become, like, our interactions with other people become better, which only makes life as a whole better. So yeah, I think it does take putting your stuff out there and getting that validation of it's good back, but that's when you have to make those realizations of, oh, I worried about this for nothing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm the only person who was judging me.
Yeah. Like, it's paralyzing if you really, like, dive into that hole
Oh
of,
my God, yeah.
well, it needs to be perfect, then it'll never get done. Like with videos I've had before where I'll put it all together and it's not perfect, and then I'm like, oh, I don't want to post this. It's not perfect.
Well, and that stopped you in the past. Like,
Yes.
you were slamming out work so much quicker right now than you used to. Granted, like, structure has changed, but I think that,
Like, there's been videos I'm like, it's not great. I'm like, screw it. Just post it. Just do
post
it. Just only go up from here.
Yes. Yes. And same thing with this. I mean, there are a million things we're going to change about this podcast.
Yeah.
A freaking million.
Yeah.
But it can only get better.
Yeah.
And what really matters is
Getting it out there.
getting out there, connecting with people. Yeah.
So what's the future plans for Swink Media? What do we have in the works?
Media. I'm so excited for more, like, video content to be. I know what you're gonna say. I loved the video where you followed Alec around and went to his house.
Yeah.
The thing is, we're gonna need some manpower behind that kind of stuff, or manpower elsewhere to do that kind of things. But that's the future of, like, Swink Media, I think, is getting more videos like that.
More like personal.
Yeah, so it's not just you in the gym, because, I mean, the gym is an hour of your day. It is a complement to your life. People come to Swink to complement their life. Like, this isn't their life. For some of it's become our life.
Yeah.
But that just shows its value, you know? So that video of Alec, for example, it's not just that he comes to the gym 3 times a week for an hour. It's that he can pick up his kid, you know, he can work on his food, goes to the grocery store, like, whatever it is, people still have a life to live outside the gym. And I think what matters most is how is this complementing that, or how is this making that better?
Yeah. This is a supplement to make your life better.
Yes.
So.
Lifestyle by Swink. Told
Oh,
you.
here
There it
We're
is.
working that in.
I'm going to get some support behind it. Just you wait.
Okay.
What's your vision? I mean, you're getting all vision-y lately. Lean into the vision. What do you see for Swink Media?
I don't know. I mean, just kind of more content. I mean, I think this podcast was a big step.
Yeah. I think we were all really scared and kind of avoiding it for a second.
Yeah, it's very nerve-wracking. Just the same thing, like, well, what if people don't like it? What if it just bombs? It may bomb. We may have one listener, not even.
Yeah. We may be the only ones who listen to it.
And that's okay. But just, this was a big step. Just more expanding the whole video media, more types of content. Because I think lately we've done a lot of interview testimonials, which we've gotten pretty good at that. So I think it'd be cool to dive into some deeper types of videos, some different types of videos.
The podcast is a big one, I think. I think there's so much
potential.
Yeah, there's so much stuff that I want to talk to people about, and there's people in here that I don't see very much, and we never have the opportunity to have those big, deep conversations. And you're one too. Like, you won't get down deep with Trevor unless you sit with it for a second. So I think just for all of us being able to spread conversations that we have with one person amongst a lot. And
and it's, as we've seen, it's really easy to get more information than we were expecting.
Yeah.
We said these were going to be 20 to 30 minutes. The first one was,
I told you they're going to be 45.
Yeah. And the second one was an hour, probably split up into 2 or 3.
So for all of you guys out there listening, will you let us know in the comments, or however the technology works, how long are the podcasts that you are liking to listen to? Because the ones I listen to are typically an hour long. I don't finish them all. I kind of also, I live less than a mile from my house, so it takes me like a week to finish one. But how long are y'all's commutes? How long are the time that you have to listen to podcasts? What's ideal?
Any kind of comments, critiques,
bring it all.
We welcome that stuff. Anything you want to hear about, anything you think we should change, do better, do less, do more.
There are no limits.
No limits. Except for a 30-minute recording time on this camera.
Maybe. We're already changing our mind about that.
Just kind of expanding that is the future.
Good talk.
Yeah.
This is on the fly.
This was on the fly.
This is going to be good.
I'm excited.
We'll see you guys, hear you guys, talk to you guys next time.
Yep. Next time.
Bye.